Who wants to watch WHTV? Oh.
Hey Winnacunnet, I hope your new trimester is off to a great start.
Yeah, things are really shaping up around the studio here as we have doubled the number of students in class. So we're hoping to get more episodes out to you this trimester.
Yep. So the year is coming to an end. 2022 has been a decent year, better than 2021 now that we have seemed to gotten over the worst of the corona thing and life seems to be mostly back to normal.
What are you going to miss most about this year?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. With the end of the year almost here though, we thought that we'd ask students what their favorite music track was this year.
Let's take a look.
With the year coming to a close and Spotify Wrapped coming out, the topic of music has been on the minds of quite a lot of people. With this in mind, we decided to go around asking people what their favorite songs or albums for 2022 were.
Aw, dude. If I were to say favorite song from this year, Something in the Orange.
My favorite album from this year is Her Loss by 21. Do your thing, 20.
All right, favorite album of 2022.
It's got
Stick Season, Noah Kahan.
It's got to be Stick Season.
Best album ever created. That's all I gotta say.
Favorite album of 2022 is Keep Going by The Big Eye. You know, a very underrated rapper. You should check him out. The Big Eye on YouTube.
So Noah Kahan, Stick Season.
Far was Seabat.
Definitely Seabat, best song.
Pebble Brain by Lovejoy.
Still crazy after all these years. Here goes Ryman Simon.
Listening to Christmas music at home with Iona.
That's fair.
What came out this year?
I don't know.
This year, lots of different songs were released, but the top 3 songs according to Spotify were As It Was by Harry Styles, Heat Waves by Glass Animals, and Stay by Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber. Overall, it seemed that everyone had different tastes in music. From WHTV, Owen Kroner and Haley Lewis.
My favorite bit of music has to be Tell Me by Luke Evans from the 2022 film Scrooge.
Really? I'd have to pick the new Harry Styles album.
Well, I'm not sure if you've heard, but the faculty show is back this year.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What faculty show?
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, BC, that's before COVID, the faculty did an annual holiday show to entertain us and raise a bit of money for charity. The show usually includes teachers doing dance routines, funny skits, or playing music. And there's a faculty band that gets together once a year for this event. Some of the teachers have also created movies for the show too. The English department once made a parody of the Breaking Bad TV show called Breaking Books. Tickets will go on sale for the show next week, and the show will be at the end of the already short day on Friday. The cost is $2, but the money goes to the Nurses Fund to help students right here at Winnacunnet.
It's nice to see old traditions like the faculty show coming back.
Definitely. Did you know that there used to be a lip sync show here too? You should ask Ben Bagley about it. Well, now that we are past the first trimester of the year, WHTV reporter Gavin Eaton asks 9th graders how things have been going and what they have learned so far here in high school.
Nice. Let's see what they have to say.
At the end of August, most of the students returned for the 2022 school year, but for 9th graders, August 9th, 2022 was the first day of Fresh Start, a 3-day program where 9th graders go to learn more about the ins and outs of school, where 70 counselors showed up, some being students of course, and around 220 students attended. With a third of the school year over, I went around and asked some 9th graders what they have learned so far this year.
Respect others. Probably that skipping class and being late to class isn't worth it.
And do all your assignments and don't have anything being late.
And don't act like me and save everything for last minute.
I've learned a lot about the school, and I've learned how my friends act and how their behavior is.
You have to walk with your head up in the hallway or you're going to get run over.
How to tie shoes.
I learned about functions in math, and that was really hard.
I don't do much of that, but what I have learned is something in math. It's like this box circle method.
The most important thing I learned this year is that always try out for new things.
Robert, what's the most important thing you learned this year?
Keeping your grades up.
The school is better than middle school, and the lunch is better.
I asked my freshman seminar teacher how he thinks Fresh Sem has been going on so far.
For me personally, I think this year my peer leaders have been invaluable. I think they're able to see things from a perspective that I can't, and have been doing a great work. So I guess I'll take a moment to just shout out my peer leaders, Brianna and Monique. Thank you guys. So yeah, I think freshman seminar is off to a nice start this year. I think the last couple of years with COVID and a lot of like the restraints on what we could and couldn't do as large groups, it's felt like we're getting back to a place of normalcy with the program, and I think the kids are responding to that as well. You know, the class isn't for everyone. I think some kids, you know, it's just not their speed, but from what I'm seeing, what I can tell is that most kids seem excited to be in it and are doing a really nice job with the work so far.
I asked the freshman advisors how they thought the freshmen were doing so far throughout this year and what they do as advisors.
I think they're doing great. I've been really impressed, you know, it's a new experience for all of them and they seem to be, well, doing great.
Yeah, this year feels normal.
It does.
What do we do? We're awesome.
Yeah, we're awesome. That's pretty much our main responsibility.
We know that 4 years goes by really, really quickly. We say that every year with the freshmen.
I asked my guidance counselor how they thought the transitioning from middle school to high school was for the freshmen, as well as her advice to the freshmen.
In the guidance department, we do freshman meet and greets where we meet with all of our freshmen within the first couple months of school, individually meeting with them, getting to know them a little bit, making sure their transition is going okay, both academically, socially. My advice to freshmen is that you know, you continue to think about things, think about your choices before you make them, whether that comes to your academics or your social life.
This has been Gavin from WHTV. Have a good one.
It sounds like they're settling in nicely.
A few weeks ago, we reported that a former Winnacunnet student, Maura Healey, won the November election for the position of Massachusetts governor. Well, she was recently back in the news when she was spotted with Prince William and Princess Kate at a Celtics game. They were in Boston for a few days to announce the winners of the Earthshot Prize, money that will fund projects to help our Earth repair our planet from the damages done over the last century.
Prince William didn't look like much of a baller. You know who was one? The Queen. Rest in peace, Lizzie.
So true. And as for some more local news, over Thanksgiving break, some students traveled to France. Molly Frost and Seth Curlin were on this trip and have this report.
The week before Thanksgiving break, 16 juniors and seniors of N.M. Richards French classes took a trip to France. The vacation lasted a total of 10 days. For the first 2 days, students started their journey in the heart of Paris. They visited the likes of Notre Dame, Sainte-Chapelle, the Eiffel Tower, and l'Arc de Triomphe. In their free time, students got to buy food and clothes on the Champs-Élysées.
That Friday, they took a 2-hour bus ride in the afternoon to the city of St. Quentin. There, students met their matching host families, who they would be staying with for the next 4 days. They even went to school with them.
Yeah, it's very, comment on dit gentil? Gentle?
Awesome, great.
Very funny, and it's very...
Between classes, Molly asked both American and French students about the differences and similarities they found between the two cultures.
I said we only get 22 minutes for lunch. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, we're nuts.
Ici, on prend combien de temps? How long do you have for lunch here?
On short, when you have like just a little bit of time, you have 1 hour, but normally we have 2 hours.
So you feel rushed with an hour?
Yeah, we are.
I think it's very cool to meet a new person or a new country.
And it's a big experience to learn English.
Yeah.
Yes. What are some of the differences that you see between the French and the Americans?
Like the kisses and cheek.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually it's like 8 hours in a day, but it depends on your classes. We start at 8 a.m. and we finish at 5 p.m.
While in St. Quentin, they saw a pro basketball game between the home SQ Baby team and the neighboring city's team. In St. Quentin, students took a tour of the famous Basilica. After departing St. Quentin and leaving their host families, they headed back to Paris to visit even more destinations.
Over the course of the final 3 days, they went to the Louvre, the Catacombs, Versailles, and the Montmartre section of Paris. They took their first train to get to Versailles, the palace built for King Louis XIV. Before that, they had only taken the city metro to travel the Paris area. After that, they went to the Opera Garnier back in Paris and stood in both the sophisticated Opera Theatre and the magnificent Grand Foyer.
For the final night of the trip, they ate dinner in Montmartre and visited the Sacré-Cœur. Overall, the trip was a once-in-a-lifetime experience and was a great opportunity for all who traveled.
Bon voyage et au revoir.
Sounds like a cool trip. Better keep a lookout for more trips to far locations next year.
Finally, before we leave you, we have one more story, and this one is about explosions.
Did you say explosions?
Okay, well, controlled explosions. Let's take a look.
A few weeks ago, the astronomy classes taught by Miss Woodsmith launched model rockets in Block 1 and 6. Miss Woodsmith, who oversaw the rockets' creations and takeoffs, says this is the first time any model rockets have been launched at Winnacunnet in the 12 years she's been a staff member. The goal of the assignment was to construct a rocket for launch and a parachute for its descent and retrieval. Her students came up with the idea, and Miss Woodsmith gave them the proper tools.
So they each got a kit. It was a beginner's level or intermediate level kit, depending on what they chose. And then we spent 2 to 3 days in class working on building them, getting them just right, and decorating them, then the launch day.
Students crafted the rockets using plastic, cardboard, waddings, and black powder engines. Over a dozen rockets blasted off during 6th block on launch day. Every single one took off, with varying levels of success. Shortly after launch, a parachute would activate in the rocket, allowing for a safe and slow descent back to the surface. One parachute glided a rocket straight into the tree line, but other than that, most of the parachutes worked to create a successful and easy flight path. Some didn't work at all. Ms. Woodsmith thinks that this experience can show students that in science, there is always trial and error.
So it is. So a lot of it comes down to just trying and discovering that things don't always work the first time. A lot of science is discovering what doesn't work.
Asking Ms. Woodsmith if the demonstration was a success, she said,
Oh, absolutely a success. We had one explode. One got caught in a tree, but otherwise everybody managed to successfully launch a rocket and get it back. So always a good day then.
This is Seth Kurland, WHTV.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Winnacunnet. Hope your holiday shopping is done.
Mine certainly isn't. We'll see you at the faculty show.
Yay. Oh my god! Look how cute! Look how cute it is! Oh my god. D-Rob, can we get a pet pig? No! No! Oh my god, there's rabbits! Boston for a few days to announce the winners of the Earthshot Prize. Money that will fund projects to help our Earth repair our planet and the damages done over the last century.
Sounds like a cool trip. Better keep lookout for more of them. Far off, okay, sorry. I fixed it down there so it makes sense, but sorry, that's my bad.